This hike into the Santa Monica Mountains began at a trailhead off of Malibu Canyon Road near Tapia State Park. And here's the trailhead with a whole bunch of signs, including a locked box with some envelopes to put $2 into. There's also a sign indicating that this is part of the Backbone Trail, which is a trail system that traverses all of these mountains. So here we go, beginning our trip up this portion of the Backbone Trail. And it isn't long before we begin to see a little bit more of these Santa Monica Mountains, along with some early morning fog and mist. And Jack works his way up the trail with that ever-prominent pointed peak in the background. The trail wends its way along the side hill at this point, on up into the mountains. And there's that prominent peak again, which I believe is actually part of a Salvation Army retreat in this area. This is quite a pretty area, and as we look down we can see crosses in a couple of areas, including one at the top of that mountain peak. I assume that this is because it's all part of the Salvation Army area. But then the trail moves on and begins to get into somewhat of a wooded area. But then we reach a junction with what appears to be a dirt fire road, which again gives us a pretty good view of that pointed peak with the cross on it. We also get a chance to look down Malibu Canyon towards the ocean. Unfortunately, however, it was a little bit too hazy to see the ocean out beyond. Dale stopped for a minute along the way to take a look at his map and see if we could spot some of the areas where we've been before. And yes, he did find some. Quite a few, in fact. Then the trail went through an area of quite a few very beautiful oak trees. This made for a really nice setting to be walking through. These Santa Monica Mountains certainly have a variety of scenery to see. Here we get a pretty good panoramic view of some of the scenery below us. You never really seem to tire at these views that we get from the mountains. And here's another one looking on down Malibu Canyon towards the ocean from a little bit higher altitude. And then we can look back over and again see that pointed peak with the cross. And if you look carefully, I think you'll be able to see that cross up there. And then a picture of the intrepid hiker in the Santa Monica Mountains. Then we reached a junction with another trail which eventually ends up at Coral Canyon Road. That's a bit farther than we wanted to go today, but we did go up this trail for a short ways before deciding to start back. And here on the way back we can look down and see the trail where we came up and will be going back down, after a hike of about 6 miles with about a 1,400-foot elevation gain.